Welcome to You Think, a podcast by two gays that don't.
I'm the Prima Donald.
And I'm Pink Pancake.
Honey,
welcome to our first ever podcast, Period Boots Down.
Period Boots Down. My question for Luke is, if I'm looking into a camera, should it be the one in the middle?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to do that one more time for safety, okay? As I like
From
to
the
say.
top?
Yeah, from the top.
Oh,
3,
okay.
2, 1.
Okay, thinkers, it's time to put your thinking caps on. It's time to think. You think? So the lore
is
we are two gay guy best friends who met in college.
Believe it.
We were forced to become roommates together.
Yeah.
And ever since then, we became best friends and we really desperately wanted to do a podcast. And years and years later, we were kind of so far behind the trend, but we decided it's time.
It's time. They said,
it's
we
time.
need
Yeah.
gay people making podcasts.
Yeah, now
We
more than
need
ever, we need
Mhm.
white, cis gay guys making podcasts.
And you might say it's a crowded space.
And we say,
Anyways.
have you been in our apartment?
Yeah, but anyways, here we are.
Here we are.
And we're so excited.
We're so excited. We should first tell everyone the kind of vibes of the podcast and the structure, and then we'll really get into a little bit more of the lore, and then we'll really dive in.
I like
what you're
that
gonna
that's what
expect.
you think we should do, because I think something
What
else.
you think?
I just want to explain that, like, Michael and I, who's also Pink Pancake, we FaceTime about 15 to 20 times a day.
Yes.
And we talk, and my husband closes his ears. And
We do it so much that sometimes I forget that he's on FaceTime. Yeah.
So it's like, why don't we record just one of these conversations per week? But yeah, let's tell you about the format of this podcast, because it's unlike any other podcast you've ever listened to.
Yeah, we're really kind of flipping the script.
Let's tell the people at large about our 3 segments of
Yes.
this podcast.
The structure. So our first segment is
You think?
And that is where we talk about stuff that's going on our own lives. Our
Mhm.
second segment is called
Groupthink. That's what we're all thinking about as a group, a community, but mostly pop culture stories, what's in the news, etc.
And then our final segment is called
What do you even think?
And that one we'll get into later. But
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge, and it's going to be a little improv. It's going to be a little yes, and we're going to get into it later. But you got to stay tuned to listen to that.
You're going to have to stay tuned after the commercial break, after all of our sponsors.
Yeah.
They've
Who are-
lined up.
yeah, they're really excited about our no a tripod situation
Yeah.
going on. That they're like begging to run.
Actually,
into
if
this.
you're a tripod brand
Yeah,
watching
if you're
this
a
right
tripod-
now,
we're just
please know we would love your
We'd
services.
love one. Brands that I love that I hope make tripods. Pringles. Once you pop it, you just can't stop because
Okay.
that's made of a cylindrical situation,
Oh.
and then you just put a little phone at the top, and then once you pop, you just can't stop recording a podcast.
So the brand that I would love to really get into tripods,
Mhm.
it's Skims. I want my tripod
you
to be
love
comfortable.
Skims, yeah, and also like really tight and skinny.
I like them to suck you in,
yeah.
record you,
Mhm.
and be made by a billionaire.
Record you.
That's
That's triggering for Kim K because she made her career off of it.
yeah, honey. Okay, well, I think we should get into our first segment, should we?
Yes, but I also
Oh, wait.
I mean I
No,
wanna,
let's not.
No, let's not.
No, let's not.
No end.
Luke
no
has nowhere
end.
to go. Our producer Luke has nowhere to go. Besides
Besides
Asia.
that, yeah.
A peek behind the curtain. This is our
Yeah.
first ever podcast
Our
episode.
first ever podcast
And
ever.
Things went really
Really
swimmingly
smoothly,
well.
smooth. I want to shout out to our friend Luke, who is our producer.
Straight Luke.
So
Straight
sorry.
Luke.
Yeah,
You
our
might
friend
know him
Straight
from
Luke.
an TikTok with Chanel Ayan,
Yes.
who tried to find him a girlfriend, and she successfully kind of
did.
did.
And now he's moving to. Well, actually, I don't even know where you're going at this point. But he's. You're going to Korea. You're going to Korea for an extended stay, and we'll see how long he stays. But I want to, like, before we dive into our first section, I want to talk about 2 things.
Let's
One
talk about
is
them.
our friendship origin story, and
Wow.
2 is what you think even is.
These are 2 important
These
things.
are 2
that
important
if
you
you're tuning into
thinks,
this
yeah.
podcast, you need to think about.
You need to think about it.
Put on
So
your thing
our
in
friendship
caps.
origin story
Mhm.
is we both went to the same college.
We did.
Freshman year, nary a sight of each other. I mean, we did go to that one party at your dorm room where you were hosting. I was closeted.
Say we went to that party.
No,
I
said
you
I
went.
went.
Because I was.
Sorry, we just have such like a group thing with each other that I'm like, oh, like we, but like really, it would just.
I would throw parties freshman year in my dorm because I said, "What? I'm cool. I found someone to buy me alcohol. I would buy a handle of it, honey. I worked as a writer girl, as a writing tutor, to be able to pay for the alcohol. I got it, and I said, let me invite people over because I wasn't getting invited to anything else. So I would throw parties.
Wow. And that explains your whole career.
Literally.
Yeah, because you're a go-getter.
I'm a go-getter.
With an attitude.
Huh.
Yeah. And I went to one of those parties and I was like, he seems gay, but I'm not sure. It was the hairstyle. You've changed a lot. You've changed a lot. Mm-hmm. And then so that was freshman year. Sophomore year, you arrived. Your roommate did not arrive to campus.
No. Paul Corgan, if you're listening to this, if this is in your tiny little ears.
Yeah. He did have smaller ears than an average person.
Tiny little ears.
Really cute guy. I hope he's well.
Sweet guy.
Really sweet guy. And then I moved directly across the hall was my assignment. And my roommate did show up, unfortunately. And he and I did not see eye to eye. He had so many rules. I've never even experienced such a thing. You had to knock every time you entered the room. And I remember one time I left for class, realized I forgot a notebook because these were the days where you had to write things down. And I immediately walked back in. Baby, he screamed bloody murder and was like, you have to knock every time. And I'm like, but I literally just left. Anyway, and then he had to write in his journal every night before bed with all the lights on. And I had 8 a.m. ballet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And he would come in at like midnight, turn all the lights on.
So we're telling the really long story.
Yeah, the long version. This is a long form story.
Yeah.
And
podcasts are long form mediums.
Yeah,
so
long form mediums.
Really,
so this is really
you're fitting in with the medium.
Yeah. Get into it. Anyway, so it sucked. He lived across the hall. He was a media comm major. He had no homework. And I spent a lot of time there. And one day he asked me to be his roommate. And we fell in friendship love. And we've been besties ever since.
We've been besties ever since college. We have so much fun together. We have torn up this town, honey.
We live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, loved every single day. And sometimes when we're on the phone 100 hours a day, we'll bring up a topic. He'll be like, oh my God, it's so gorgeous out. And one of us will just say, you think?
I don't know how you think really started.
I think you said it in a nasally voice once and I caught onto it. And you said it multiple times. Like, oh, you think? And I'm like, you think?
Yeah, it's mostly like making fun of the other person.
Yeah.
Like
here's the situation. It's like, Nicki Minaj has turned on us and I was such a big fan of hers for years.
That's actually really sad. I'm not gonna think about that. But but you could be like, I'm so upset about Nicki Minaj. It's like we're still talking about that. So I'd be like, you think?
Right.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe. And I think they all get it. Do they all get it?
If you're at home, if you could just swipe up if you get it. Now let's get into our segments.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's dive into our segments.
Let's dive right in.
The first one is called You Think. And we're going to just tell you kind of what we're thinking about.
Do you want to tell me what you thinking about this week?
I would love to tell you what I'm thinking about. And I'm going to first consult my notes. So I just got back from a work trip to LA. Oh, it was fabulous. But just being out there in March, like it has been so miserable and dreary here.
Yeah.
I went to a gay pool party. People were laughing, loving, drinking vodka sodas. And, you know, they kind of live a beautiful life. And I think I might need to leave this town.
That's not funny to me.
Asia. And I've heard from my friend Luke that Asia's a really amazing place to be.
I will move there. I also recently went to LA and I had a beautiful time. I also think we both stayed, you for one night, but for me the whole time, stayed at our friend Jack and Cole.
Yeah, I think the other time I was like at a 5-star hotel.
Yeah. So living there in that kind of beautiful luxury is so fun. Right. But the reality of actually living there, I think, could be different than.
No, I'd be living in a 5-star hotel.
Sweet life of Zach and
no, but just being at this gay pool party, like I met so many people. We're all dancing around in our Speedos, drinking vodka sodas, having the time of our lives, and I was just like, this could be life every single weekend. And all these gay guys kept being like, oh, you're from New York? Like, do you realize this is what we do every weekend? We have pool parties. I'm like, So how do I get that?
Well, I personally want to go to basement and kind of just step touch the rest of my life. But like, if you want to do that, you can do whatever you want.
And just like
Never been to basement.
Everyone was like, so I was like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a landscaper to the stars. I'm like, okay, chic. I'm a lawyer for Disney. I did tell that guy, I think you're annoying. No offense. I hadn't met him. He's
the Disney guy? Or
I just said, what do you do? He said, I'm a lawyer for Disney. And I said, unfortunately, without knowing anything more, I think you're annoying. So like a peek behind the curtain, I work in social media for a TV network. And often we have to share our ideas with the legal team who has a lot of red tape and a lot of feedback. So that colored my opinion of that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. That makes sense. I just feel like my experience in LA, I feel like we need to go together because you see life.
Have we never been together?
Not really, only for like a day. We've never done like a real trip.
When was that?
It was a beautiful day.
What did we do?
I don't really remember.
When was it?
I remember that's the first time I went to Jack and Cole's house and we swam in their pool.
Correct.
Yeah. But my experience was I felt like the vibes of LA have gotten like very corporate. And I feel like
that's where I feel safe.
Right. You do feel safe in corporate.
I understand corporate America. So for those viewing at home if you're watching this podcast for the first time, let me catch you up. I work in more corporate America.
And I am a drag queen.
Yeah. So like our days are different, you know?
Very different.
I'd say Michael's has less structure.
No structure.
And mine is very much like be here every day and go to the place. And I love my job and I'm so grateful for my job. But the flexibility sounds fabulous. It's like living in LA. Like that sounds fabulous. It was really fun to be at like a fun gay pool party. And like people, you know, some people were throwing off their Speedos, having a good time. And then out of the corner of my eye, my coworker walks in.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, whoa, hello. And I love my coworkers.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're in pool party mode, you know?
I don't want to be I mean, it depends on the coworker. I also work.
Your coworkers are drag queens.
Right.
A little different.
Because I was about to say, I don't want to be in a Speedo in front of my coworkers. When my coworkers are drag queens or bartenders or the like, I'm often in a Speedo. I'm often scantily clad with a pound of makeup on. But I also work as a, what's it called?
Front desk gay guy?
Front desk gay guy. Actually, a Tony Award winning front desk gay guy. Thank you very much.
You won a Tony Award?
Theater, the office that I work at,
I've never seen a Tony in their apartment.
Well, they unfortunately just gave us a plaque. Yeah. But we did win a Tony Award and from a Tony Award front desk. Thank you. It was a dream of mine. It came true.
I've never met someone not on Broadway who's won a Tony.
Well, honey, there's a first for everything.
Yeah.
There's a first.
It's like, getting an Oscar for not working on a movie. That's amazing.
No, I know. Yeah. The Tony Awards, they give out awards for excellence in theater that they give like regional theaters an award every year,
right,
for like best regional theater in the world. And they gave our office a Tony Award for our achievements and support of playwrights in theater.
That's amazing.
And because I work the front desk, I am a Tony Award winning front desk diva.
Yeah. I mean, in summer camp, I won the Teen
Choice Award,
Spirit Award. They said like you have so much good spirit.
And with that face,
honey,
that didn't look like a teen. They gave you the Teen Spirit Award.
Honey,
I don't know.
Honey, my nose grew in before. Purse first, nose first. Okay, it was incredible. No, but I'm happy for your job. Anyways, we have very different schedules in life.
Yeah.
But so it might mean something different to you if you saw someone in a pool party. But for me, I was like, woo!
There was a time when I was working a different front desk job at a yoga studio, and you came in to meet me after work. I had my shirt off because I'd just taken a class, and you were flabbergasted by that. But that is just my life that I live.
Sorry,
and
just one other thing
to
illuminate this just quickly.
Yeah.
Once Michael came to meet me for lunch at my office. He said, I'm nearby. Can I come meet you for lunch? I was like, sure.
Yeah.
My friend came in the tiniest pink booty shorts you've ever seen. And I work in corporate America, honey. We have button-down shirts. We have full pants. I've never worn a shorts to the office. And this little twink demon comes in. Demon twink. Comes into the office, the shortest shorts. And I'm like, Michael, what are you doing? And you're like, what? There's shorts and a tank.
Well, it was really hot outside.
It was just as hot outside for everyone else in that office.
And I'm not getting paid. Sorry.
So I was like, I was like, we have to like. I'm like, you need to sit in this back corner. I will bring you food, but you cannot stand.
Yeah.
You need to sit right there.
Yeah, I learned a lesson that day.
Yeah.
Lesson is my friend slut shames. Okay, slut shames what you wear.
Michael,
that's my name.
What have you been thinking about?
I have been thinking about that I'm recently single, and baby, I have been mingling. I've been mingling a lot. I have been getting back on the scene, going on dates, and it's been fun to meet people, and it's also been interesting. Oh, so before I literally went on a date with someone just the other day that think I really like had a good time, and I literally saw him on the street walk into your apartment.
You're kidding?
Yeah, and he was wearing the cutest outfit.
Oh my, that's
he had like a matching kind of khaki situation going on. But I realized that I thought we both had a great time, but we didn't text each other like the next day.
Oh, that's sad.
So I think that he hates me.
He probably hates. So Michael, I know that people might be their first time watching the podcast because it's the first time
first
ever.
Episode, yeah.
But can you give them spark notes of like, why is your life so sad and tragic, and why are you a single loser?
So what happened was I was dating a guy for a little over a year. And he did rant so randomly. Actually, it was like super random. He did leave me for his best friend's husband.
Honey, happens to the best of us.
It happens to just me and Ariana Maddox just having a good old fucking time. Yeah. So basically,
that's like you leaving. Wait,
that's like
your best friend's husband.
No, that's like Peter. Peter is Donald's husband.
Yeah,
he
might even be in this room right now.
Yeah. Well, he took a step out.
Oh my god, he's eating sushi. Okay, keep going.
That's like if Peter left you for me. Yeah. And also, our producer, Straight Luke, happened to go to college with the best friend's husband.
Yeah.
And recently saw him.
There's levels to this.
And we're just gonna say now is not the time to seize the day.
Yeah.
And if you know what that means, then you know what that means.
Honey. Yeah, but what I will say is we've learned so much from this situation. We've grown so much from the situation. I love seeing my bestie back out there in the world. It's so fun. It's so funny. You have been every day you come with a new fun
crazy story. Can I tell you the most recent one?
If you wouldn't, I'd be upset.
Yeah. So
I'd be so upset.
You think?
I do.
So I have been back on the apps, honey.
If this happens to be your first time listening to this podcast, we are going to talk about things related to gay male sexuality.
Yeah. I don't know how many people it's their first time listening to this podcast.
I know. I'm assuming people have already.
Yeah. I know.
But in case it's their first time, like I just want you to know, like trigger warning.
We're going in.
Trigger warning. Queer joy.
Queer joy.
MapQuest. Queer maps.
The thing about America is people don't know where maps are, and they don't know where to point to a thing on a map.
Where are they?
And maybe if we brought maps to schools. So anyway,
this is tequila soda ASMR.
Yeah. So anyway, no, actually, some people hate that noise. So
we will not be chewing on this podcast.
Yeah. So I was on Sniffies, and this really hot guy messaged me, and he said that he was 40 years old, and he sent me pictures that I was like, he looks like on the higher end of 40, but sure. He arrives, baby. This man is 63 minimum. He was gorgeous, though. I will say that. So I did let him in, and also you have to know that he sent a picture of his.
Even though he's someone's grandfather, probably.
Yeah, of course.
Or great-grandfather.
Anyway, I would say that he was a horrible kisser. He went in like mouth first and almost like he was a guppy. And I didn't
What
like
is that term?
A little fish, yeah.
Oh.
And he did, and this is a trigger warning for Donald, but his breath smelled like mothball.
We're going to get into that.
We're going to get into that. But his breath smelled like mothballs because I was like, because you're 63 and I don't know, maybe whatever.
But okay, so overall it was a good enough hookup, but he did not match his pictures. I think that's a trend that you notice a lot on these apps.
Yes. I mean, but I'm just like, listen, I am okay with a 63-year-old if I know that I'm getting a 63-year-old.
Now, what would you say your type is? Like you
You tell me. You know my type.
I mean, it's a short jock.
Yeah.
A short jock, as my friend said, he likes them short. He likes a tiny little boy. If you're a tiny little boy watching this program,
don't call them boys.
They're little boys.
They're men. They're boys to men.
Yeah, they're men. They're in their 80s.
Yeah.
No.
They're geriatric.
Yeah. No, they're usually not old. So these geriatric guys. No, usually you don't like a geriatric man. So this was a more rare occasion.
Right, because I was expecting 40.
Yeah.
And this was the second time it happened to me in 2 weeks.
Oh, my
Because the week before that, we won't get into that because that's boring. But yeah, just like say your fucking age, man. Just say your age. And then when we were, like putting our clothes back on, I did say, so what is your vibe? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, you just don't seem gay. I was like, obviously what we just did is very gay, but you don't seem gay. And then he was like, yeah, what do you think? I was like, well, what I'm gathering from you is that you do seem like you are recently out, like have a wife with kids, and you like got divorced from her, and now you're experiencing like being out for the first time. And he was like, yeah, but we are in the process of the divorce.
Oh!
Yeah. And then I asked him what he did. He said he's a banker. He said, what do I? He asked me, and I said, I'm a drag queen. And baby, he was flabbergasted. He never met a drag queen. He said that he had seen one drag queen perform before at a straight birthday party. But he's like a straight banker for his whole life. True. And now he's experiencing this for the first time.
Wow.
So yeah,
you might show up at his bank. You like
Deutsche.
To. Michael, after he gets all the singles from doing his drag shows, shows up to a bank and puts it in his account.
Yeah.
This might be your banker.
Right. Well, he's not a bank teller.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I don't go to a bank. I have the Bank of America app. And they love to transfer my money to put it in.
This guy was giving CEO, and I was giving CEO, honey. Should we get into our next segment?
Oh, yeah. This is Groupthink, where we talk about the things that we as a group are all thinking about. Things in pop culture, the news, the broadcast. So I'm going to start with maybe a woman who's a diva of our community, Chapel Roan. Now, Chapel has been spotted really attacking children.
Yeah, she's been looking at children and saying,
no. She cleared it up. No. Okay, so basically the tea is people think there's a story that circulated that a child, maybe an 11-year-old, came up to her at a hotel to take a picture, to say hello. And she was like, no, I'm in my own space. Like, do not attack my space.
Because she's known to not do. I mean, I feel like the gay guys and the ladies that are listening to this understand. And the theys, thank you, theys.
Yeah, thank you, theys, for listening. But I think she does not handle fame well. And there's been all these things that have come out from this. Like, no, it wasn't actually her security who did this. No, it wasn't Chapel who did this. She said, like, listen, I would never do that. I mean, she fully would.
I think there's like her whole I love her artistic persona so much.
So good at art.
Her like human self is really interesting.
Terrible celebrity.
But Lady Gaga is the perfect celebrity. I'm something she says, I'm like, absolutely. And I feel like we have a different view of this too. Mm-hmm. But when you're in the public, do you owe someone a picture? And I think if you want to like have a beautiful fan base and you want to give back to your fans, sure. I've also been as a drag queen in like weird scenarios where I worked like New York City Pride and people were coming up to me like I was Elmo and weren't even saying hi to me. They just were like taking a picture, and it's like, well, I'm getting paid to do this today, so like sure. And I feel like she's getting paid kind of to do do that in public, but I understand she wants to like.
It's different.
I think
it's different.
Yeah.
I have
she wants to have.
We're on the View now,
stuff.
And I disagree. I work with a bunch of people in the public eye, Bravo celebrities, I would say. Bravo celebrities. And I find that they are all, you know them for being dramatic, for being shady, whatever. But for the most part, they're extremely kind to fans. They understand that fans are, people who support them, who love them. They're excited to see them, and they really give them that energy back. And the fans really appreciate it. So I feel like Chapel Roan is just such a stark contrast to all of that.
Yes. And they're like when she yelled at the paparazzi on the red carpet for like telling her to smile. Yeah. I feel like I actually do support that moment because I think like the way that they treated Britney Spears and now she has a DUI, I feel like there's a way to treat a celebrity.
It's not her first, but
but it's her most recent. But I feel like there's a way to treat a celebrity that could be supportive but still have the celebrity. There's like a fine line between love and waste.
How is it unsupportive towards Chapel?
No, I don't think a fan on the street. I'm like a male paparazzi telling her to smile. might be misogynistic.
I think it's. I do appreciate
and also,
it as a whole.
obviously, our friend Plasma was on Drag Race, and I remember the season that she was on. I was in P-Town without you, no tea, no shade. But we were going on a hike in like the middle of the wilderness outside of P-Town, and Plasma was feeling like in P-Town it was Women's Week, and lesbians are not chill when it comes to the Drag Race girls. I think especially Plasma. I think she appeals to the lesbians. They were screaming bloody murder when they saw her. It was crazy. And she was just like wanted to have like a fun week with her friends. But obviously,
I mean, maybe P-Town. Yeah. No offense, Plasma, if you're watching this, but I don't feel bad for you.
No, I don't.
You went on RuPaul's Drag Race and then went to the gayest town in America.
I don't think she wanted anyone to feel bad for her. Yeah. She just was like, I feel bad for you guys because I'm constantly getting stopped to take pictures and you're having to wait for me to take pictures.
Yeah.
I don't think she wanted anyone to feel bad for her.
So what's your point?
My point is we were on a hike and she was complaining about this.
That's a really good point.
And then someone...
You should tell that point again.
And then someone... there was no one on this hike. We barely passed anyone. And then someone goes... Oh my God, are you Plasma? And then she got asked to do a picture on the hike. It was so funny.
Yeah.
In the middle of complaining about it, I lived for it.
That is really funny, and I'm laughing really hard. Another thing I need to talk about in pop culture right now is maybe the overindulgence in pop culture nostalgia. I think that there's been a lot recently with the Hannah Montana of it all, the Hills of it all, the Harry Potter of it all.
Hilary Duff is back.
Hilary Duff is back. I like nostalgia overall, I really do. But I just feel like we're in like a very like porny time of nostalgia. Like feel this right now, and I'm like, I feel it. I don't know.
I watched the Hannah Montana. I don't know what it's called, special, and I loved it. I loved it so much.
I was a Nickelodeon gay and MTV gay.
So much sense.
Yeah, I was not a Disney gay. So I never even watched Hannah Montana, but I do feel nostalgia for her returning and wearing that wig, which even though it wasn't a wig that she was wearing, it was hair, is what she's saying.
It was her hair, but she did have the wigs present with her. I just loved it so much. I loved Hannah Montana growing up. But I did not finish it. So there are certain things she was talking about. I like aged out of the program.
Oh.
We're the same age as her. Do you know that?
You're
a little bit older.
Listen, I didn't know that. But we're podcasters now. So what did you think of Alex Cooper being on the program?
I loved it. I think some people thought that, like, why did she do it? Apparently they're neighbors, and I think Alex Cooper, like, really wanted her to make this special happen.
Yeah.
And so she kind of was part of the ideation of it. So I think it makes sense.
Basically if Alex Cooper, like, wants us on her podcast network, she needs two gay guys.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we would have it.
We'll do it.
Oh, what about the Harry Potter? Because I'm not a Harry Potter head.
I used to be a huge Harry Potter fan. It was like a huge part of my personality. But then unfortunately the fucking bitch who wrote those books became a TERF.
And what's a TERF?
A TERF is a trans exclusionary radical feminist.
And what does that mean?
So that means that...
Because we're going to have some straight women at home who don't know what you're talking about.
Right, you're right. Honey, sit down, listen to the culture.
Honey.
So that means that you are a radical feminist who does not believe that trans people exist.
Mm-hmm.
So she thinks that trans women are men, and she thinks that they're trying to become women to gain some kind of, I don't know, something in society, like a leg up in sports is what she thinks.
She's very fixated on it, so much so that she will tarnish her whole legacy.
Yeah.
And
do you know that she once released a book under a male name? So she after Harry Potter, also J.K. Rowling, obviously she
J.K. she's a joke. How about that?
Yeah, but J.K. Rowling, she changed her name from whatever the fuck it is, I don't care, her dead name, like Joe or something, to which is also a man's name.
Oh yeah.
But
in a woman's world,
Josephine or something. I don't fucking know what her name is, but she changed it to J.K. so that people walking by would think that a man wrote the book because they're more likely to.
Pathetic.
And then also.
Pathetic.
She released another book after Harry Potter under a male pseudonym because she wanted to see if she could
spell
still
pseudonym.
Okay, so pseudonym is spelled S.
There's P, honey.
No,
there's P. Put some P in it.
I love P. I was gonna make a funny, but whatever. J.K. Rowling, fuck that fucking whore.
But what do you think of the new Harry Potter thing?
What I think is that girl, it's a catch grab.
Is it a prequel? What is it?
No, they are remaking Harry Potter as a TV series.
I roll.
What I'm saying is the books have a lot of moments, details that were cut out of the movies. A series might be able to capture every single moment. Having said that, the movies came out not very long ago.
Moaning Matthews.
Straight Luke is really upset about Harry Potter.
About Harry Potter.
And so if you are feeling like at any point you're upset,
we want you to comment about that.
Yeah, no, comment about it.
And definitely share. If you're upset about our takes, share this with 5 friends.
Yes. And say ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Should we go to our final segment?
I think we should.
Of our final episode of the podcast.
It's our first and final episode.
Yeah, if you're watching this, you'll never watch this again. No, I'm kidding. No, this is really cool.
The final episode of our first ever podcast ever,
This
period.
is the final episode of the first
episode
of our podcast. Okay, so
and he meant segment. Yeah.
What do you even think? And this is a challenge, okay? And we're going to do this at the end of every episode of our podcast. Basically, each one of us has pulled up something random on Wikipedia, okay? And we're going to ask the person what they think about it. They're going to give their best biography of what this person was, something about them, and really just riff on what it is. There's probably a 99.99% chance we won't know what that is.
Yeah.
But we're gonna really think about it. We're gonna put
we're imagining like we are experts in the subject, and we are putting our thinking caps on, and we're gonna tell you the who, what, where, when, and why of what this fucking thing is, and in a short bio.
Okay, Pancake. I want to know what you think about Rudolph Valentino.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share all of my knowledge about Rudolph Valentino.
Of course.
So Rudolph Valentino was actually the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
You think?
Yeah, and he's the person they based Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer about.
You think?
He grew up in a very bustling town in East London in the 1800s. And he had a very bulbous red nose because he had a weird condition that I've seen on some of those pimple popper videos. And obviously, I
don't watch this.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm an expert on it, but I just want to, like, out of respect for his family, I don't want to share the condition right now. And he was made fun of by all of his friends at school for being Rudolph the Red-Nosed guy. Valentino, yeah. But then when he went through puberty, his condition expelled, and he kind of was an ugly duckling. So he actually is someone who became both Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the ugly duckling, who became a beautiful swan. And that's where the Valentino comes in, and that's why there's a stereotype about like Valentine's Day, is because he became such a stud that all of the ladies, the men, the non-binaries, which was a thing in the 1800s, they all were so smitten by him that they all went to hook up with him, and that is how both Valentine's Day and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer became a thing.
Wow, that was incredible. I'm learning in the future maybe that will be a 60-second segment. But
I am long-winded. I am verbose.
Are you ready to hear
who he actually
Rudolph Valentino was? Rudolph Valentino, who lived from 1895 to 1926, was an Italian-born actor who became one of the most prominent stars of the American silent film era. His screen career spanned from appearances in short films in the 1910s to major starring roles that helped define the romantic leading man in the 1920s.
Wow, so I was right about romance.
You were right about romance. I don't know we don't know if his nose was red because he was in black and white films.
Right, yeah.
But he could have had a red nose. Yeah, he could have
had a red nose. Yeah. Okay. Are you ready?
Who do you want me to think about? Because I'm ready to think, which I rarely do. Michael did not come prepared for this podcast in literally any way. There's only 3 segments. I had to write out all 3 of them. Yeah. This segment came to be because we were brainstorming with our producer, Straight Luke, or as Chanel Ayan calls him, Straight Luke. And he said, why don't we do this? And we said, wait, that's an awesome idea, Straight Luke. It's the only idea we'll ever take from a straight man, besides wearing long socks.
Okay, I have our person.
Okay,
so thank you so much for coming here today. Obviously, we're all very prepared. You are an expert on George Palmanazar. George Palmanazar. And can you tell us about him?
Of course. I mean, if I'm going to talk about George Palmanazar, what I'm going to talk about is his brother, George Washington.
Right.
So it's very rare in a family to have two brothers with the same name, George and George.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things about our first president is that he shared a name. He was the first to share a name with his brother, the first to be the president of this country. But what you didn't know about George Palmanizer is that just like George Washington, he was kind of a womanizer, you know?
Yeah.
He loved the ladies. He loved them. And he was kind of known for that, you know? And you kind of see glimpses of him in O'Mary. But he's kind of like a side character.
Right, yeah.
O'Mary is famously about that.
About George Palmanizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, he died.
For real.
Ultimately, he died.
What did he die of?
The plague. The bubonic plague in London. He got it from there.
Yeah.
And he brought it here. But overall, he did achieve a couple things before he passed.
What were they?
Reform. He declarated. Yeah. And that's actually the end of the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are two big things.
Yeah, but it was really cool. And before, you know, his brother died, he told him what he's always thought about him. Good name.
That was incredible. Give it up for
Donald.
Yes.
Tell me about my diva.
So George Palmanizer, I don't know how to say his name. He was born in 1679. He died in 1763. He was a French con artist who achieved fame in the 18th century London. So you're right about London. And Luke is going to love
London's
this,
calling.
by pretending to be the first native of Taiwan to visit Europe.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The first native of Taiwan. Wait, he's from Taiwan?
No, he was a con artist. He pretended to be the first native of Taiwan to visit Europe. And so he made up a fake alphabet of fake religion, and he wrote a memoir that people bought into. And he deceived scholars for years before admitting he was a fraud. So he pretended to be like this first native from Taiwan that came to Europe and explained like the culture to them.
That's actually pretty chic. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a great place to stop thinking.
My brain is exhausted. I can't think anymore.
I need a break.
I need a break.
I think that's our first podcast.
Yes,
Yay!
Queen. Yes, queen.
Yes, queen. Oh, we're bringing that nostalgia. Wow, that was incredible. This is a dream come true for us. Thank you all for listening along, getting to this moment.
We see you, we hear you, and you hear us.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing.
So just make sure until we see you next, keep thinking.
Wait, until we see you next.
And
until we see you next,
I'm the Prima Donald.
I'm Pink Pancake.
Keep thinking and keep your thinking caps on. Period!